They probably rely on these kinds of facilities somewhere along the line for delivery staging, infrastructure support, simple storage. It's kind of the unseen backbone.
Huh. Never really thought about it that way. So if I were looking at an iOS property, what are the typical features I'd see?
You'd typically expect controlled access, right? Often pretty serious security, high fences, strong pavement that can handle heavy loads.
Makes sense.
Usually a small office building, like we said, but mostly open, usable land. And really important, strategic location near highways or rail, and
Mm.
multiple gates or access points so trucks can get in and out easily.
And who's actually using these spaces? Who are the tenants?
It's quite a mix, actually. You've got logistics companies, trucking firms, those critical last-mile delivery operations.
Like Amazon's vans, that sort of thing.
Oh, exactly. Also, equipment rental places, think construction gear, construction suppliers themselves, basically anything that needs outdoor space. You'll see stored construction machinery, shipping containers, piles of landscaping materials, fleets of commercial vehicles, you name it.
Okay. Now that number, $200 billion market size, that definitely jumps out. What's driving that huge valuation?
Yeah, it's a big number. PwC data confirms it was over $200 billion in 2024. And what's really telling is the institutional money flowing in.
The big players?
Right. TPG, Angelo Gordon, JP Morgan, get this. They collectively raised over $3 billion in 2024 specifically for iOS investments.
Wow.
Yeah, that kind of capital, often through specific funds focused on logistics infrastructure, it tells you there's some serious belief in where the sector is headed.
So it's not just a few smart individuals seeing an opportunity. It's tied into bigger economic shifts.
Absolutely. Alan Pontias over at Marcus and Millichap, he really highlights the e-commerce effect. This once kind of overlooked niche, it's now front and center because online retail needs this kind of property in its supply chain.
Okay, so it's happening nationwide, but the Chicago deal flow piece really calls out Chicago as an iOS hotspot. What's special about Chicago?
It really comes down to Chicago's core strength. It's a massive transportation hub.
Can't argue with that.
You've got the convergence of major highways, the huge rail network, O'Hare for air freight. It's just a critical junction point for the whole country. And that directly fuels the need for these kinds of storage and staging areas.
And having someone like Michael Linton with his, decades of experience right here, that adds a lot of weight.
It really does. 38 plus years watching the Chicago market evolve. He's seen this iOS growth firsthand, and he points right to that extraordinary growth potential. Classic economics, really. Limited supply meets rising demand.
Right, which brings us to that perfect storm idea I mentioned in the article. Can you break down the supply constraints and the demand drivers a bit more?
Sure. Let's start with supply. Why isn't there more of this stuff? Well, first, zoning.